up on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn at the moment. And then we can start. Our topic today is going to be about reconciliations. So if you have any questions about reconciliations, this is your time to throw them in the chat. Well, comments. Sorry, I was in Twitch World all last week because of Kai. I watched some. I be watching his marathons. I love it. So I'm like, put W's in the chat, it's like whatever. But hi in the comments, y'all. Hey Sharif, how are you? Okay, I think we're loaded. We're up and loaded. Hey Facebook, hey Instagram, hey LinkedIn, hey YouTube, hey everyone. So, hi everyone. Welcome back to our weekly live stream. Today we are talking about something that may sound boring at first, but is absolutely crucial for your business, which is called bank reconciliations. Yes, a lot of you probably signed off and turned off the chat right now. Like, we're not listening to that. But let's just start with a quick scenario. Imagine you're looking at your bookkeeping software and it says you have 15,000 you have 15,000 in the bank. You feel pretty good, right? Maybe you're even planning on investing in some new equipment. Then you log into your bank account and it actually says $12,000. That's $3,000 difference, which could be due to duplicate entries, missing transactions, or even bank errors. This is why reconciliation is not optional. Reconciliation simply means comparing your books to your bank statements to make sure every transaction is accounted for and matches. It's like a safety net for your money. Okay? Hey, Michelle. So, why it's not negotiable? One, it helps catches errors early. Maybe payments didn't clear, or maybe you logged the wrong amount in when you're doing anything in your books. Also, it helps you spot fraud, unauthorized charges, double billing, or even employee misuse. That's what's the whole good thing about bank reconciliation. I know I always tell the story about we do when we were doing our bank reconciliations for one of our attorneys. We were able to catch that somebody got into the payroll account and were writing checks. So I don't know, we have a lot of things going on with postal theft and stuff like that. So we don't know if it was the post office, we don't know if it was an employee, but since when people are sending out checks, there's their information, pertinent information is on there. So the first thing we kind of did was we took everyone off of checks. We started doing direct deposits because that would stop on the people that have access to the account numbers. But we were able to catch it. So instead of taking thousands and thousands of dollars, they only got to take that one. They got away with that one check, and that was it. So that's the good thing about doing bank reconciliation. You can catch things before it gets worse. So yes, whoever's trying to do some fraud, they probably have that 1 month before you do the reconciliation because you do have to wait until you get the bank statement to reconcile. You also could catch it probably when you're doing your weekly categorization, but it kind of won't be caught that fast, especially when we were doing it for certain accounts. We don't do weekly. We were doing that like payroll on a monthly basis. But like your regular operating accounts, if you're going in and doing weekly, you could catch it when you're doing categorizations. But by the time you get to the bank rec, that's when you should be able to catch any fraud or whatever thing, anything like that. And then also it helps you make better decisions because you are basing them on accurate numbers, not guesses. So most of the time when a client comes to me to get their taxes done, the first thing I ask is are your accounts reconciled in your QuickBooks software, your Zero software? And they tell me it's not, then we either tell them to go reconcile it or they pay us to reconcile their bank accounts or whatever. What I normally do in those situations, we just do a yearly. We'll do like a month. We'll take December 31st and then we'll do the reconciliation for the whole year. But if we start finding errors, that's when we go in and we like go month by month, or we start with quarter by quarter, then we go month by month if we can't figure it out by then. But you want to make sure your numbers are reconciled before you even give your financial statements out, before you want to prepare any tax returns. That's what you want to do. So basically, before I go into my closing, I do have questions that did come in um, before when we declared the topic. So what if I reconcile and it still doesn't balance? Okay. You're gonna start small. So you're gonna compare deposits first, then expenses. Usually it's a missing transaction or timing difference or a typo. Like American Express is perfect for this. Usually American Express is usually a timing difference. So if you have something off, it's usually because of like timing. So you can't just go into QuickBooks and then click everything for that month. You want to go one item at a time to figure out what it is. But if it's big, don't ignore it. Investigate right away. So if there's a big problem why you can't reconcile, you're going to definitely investigate. Sometimes, especially if you're existent business, and it's not like for instance, you've been in business for years, it could have been a simple thing that one of the transactions got deleted from a previous reconciliation and now it's off. But when you have systems, softwares like QuickBooks and stuff, they usually tell you before you even reconcile transaction, the beginning balance is off or whatever like that. So that's one thing. The next question I have is, can I automate reconciliations? No. So softwares like QuickBooks is there helps by matching transactions, but you still need to like manually go in to review them. Automation assists, but accuracy comes from you checking it. Yes, you can quote unquote automate it in a sense, but it's not automation. It's basically now a lot of our softwares are allowing you to just upload the bank statement and then they go in and they compare it to. It's like the AI will be able to compare your QuickBooks with that software. I mean, during the reconciliation. But at the end of the day, it's still better to do it manually. And it doesn't even I don't even want to answer the third question, but the third question is, how long does reconciliation takes? Once you're caught up, like once everything is good and clean, it usually takes about 15 to 30 minutes a month for a small business. I'm talking about maybe one or two bank accounts, and it's much faster than spending hours on Lexi books later. So it's easier to do this as the time goes on every month and keep a consistent thing going. But when you start taking months, like I said, waiting until tax season to do it, it gets a little tricky because another thing, I thought that was my dog right there. Another thing that usually happens, like especially in like QuickBooks Zero, there's times when there's connections being lost in between your bank and the software. So there could be a time like if you waited 6 months, if you waited a year, love you too, Sharif. If you waited a year, you waited 6 months, it could be maybe 2 months or maybe a week or two you miss transactions coming in and it didn't import properly. So you want to make sure you're doing this monthly because it just gets easier. It makes life easier, it makes the things nice, clean, and the overwhelm is no longer there. You know how I say, always try to make sure we are making sure anytime you're doing working with numbers, there's no overwhelm. That's why for me, I don't even like working with numbers after 7 o'clock. Like I can talk to y'all about it, but I can't work on numbers after 7. Like it gets to a point. Like I'm tired, I'm done, and then now you're gonna mess me up, and now I'm dreaming about numbers. So like that one number I couldn't find, like 60 cents or 65 cents that I couldn't locate. Like now I'm gonna start dreaming about it. But at the end of the day, don't wait until the year end to reconcile. Do it, like I said, monthly at minimum or weekly if you have a lot of transactions. And don't forget, it's not just bank accounts, there are credit cards. And my unfavorite one is PayPal. They're getting it together, but PayPal is another one. Stripe, that's what if you're using for like your merchant accounts, all those things need to be reconciled. Loans, all those things need to also be reconciled too. So if you have been putting this off, consider this your sign to make it part of your regular routine. If you need some guidance on how to even get you to that point to get there, maybe we can help you with setting up the system. We can help automate whatever you need for the to automate the transactions throughout the month, and then you can start reconciling. You can always reach out to me. You can email me at hello@faithats.com. You can also comment, need your services, and we can just book a discovery call. It's usually 30 minutes. Our discovery call is like 30 minutes. You can come with all the questions you have, and I'll answer it for the 30 minutes. You have me for those 30 minutes, and you'll get every answer you want. And then we can talk through the next steps on what we would need you to do to be part of the Facts family, to get the overwhelm out of your life when it comes to finances and bookkeeping and accounting. But thank you all for joining. I love being on my personal page. I'm usually on Faith Accounting's page, but I moved from there. I was a little bit, it was too stoosh for me, so I moved back over here. But thank you all for joining my live, and I'll see you all I'll see you next week. I'm still thinking if I'm going live next week. We are off. Kids are out of school, everyone. No school next week, Monday. I always have to remind myself because I'll be the one waking these kids up. I don't wake them up, but I'm just saying. I'm like, oh, school's tomorrow, but there's no school next week. So I don't know if I'll be live yet or not next week, depending on how our weekend goes. So everyone enjoy your week. Make sure it's productive, profitable, and peaceful. Okay. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.